Hey, travelers. Welcome to The Shattered God, a cinematic Daggerheart actual play brought to you by Ghostlight. Before the story begins, we invite you into our Session 0. Sure, it's a little rough around the edges, but this will serve as the foundation of everything to come. In this episode, you'll meet our players, explore their characters, and get a glimpse into the world of Aeryndor, a realm on the brink of divine collapse. We'll walk through character creation, align on tone and safety tools, and uncover the threads that will bind our heroes to the fate of the gods. Now, this isn't just prep, this is a part of the story. The decisions our players make here will shape relationships, define moral boundaries, and determine whose light still burns when the veil begins to tear away. So settle in, this world is still whole, for now. So let's begin, right after a word from our sponsors. This episode of Ghostlight is brought to you by World Anvil, the world-building platform we rely on to keep our lore organized, our timelines straight, and our gods, well, mostly under control. If you're a game master, author, or storyteller, World Anvil gives you everything you need to build immersive settings, track character arcs, manage maps, and connect every piece of your story all in one place. We use it to run our campaigns, our one-shots, and our miniseries in Aeryndor, and with all the chaos unfolding in The Shattered God, trust me, having a tool like this is essential. Now, you can support the show and start building your own world today by heading to worldanvil.pxf.io/ghost25. That's worldanvil.pxf.io/ghost25. Use our link, support the show, and start shaping your next great adventure. Now, on with the show. And we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Ghostlight. I'm here with all of my friends, and we're going to talk about Daggerheart today. How's everyone feeling today?
Amazing.
Pretty good.
Excited.
I finally rolled the critical success right before we went live, like 4 seconds before or something.
Out of how many rolls?
Like
All of them.
30, 50-ish, somewhere in there.
You said 300, right?
Some amount of zeros were there. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
There's
zeros
some-
don't matter.
I rolled a 0. All right. Thank you for those of you joining us on the various platforms. It looks like our audio is good, which is already a critical success in my book.
We're done, everybody.
We're done. Turn it down. Let's get out of here. Everyone, thanks for coming in for Session 0. First Daggerheart's miniseries. I am super excited about it. If you hadn't had a chance to look at Daggerheart, there's some really interesting things going on there. Fiction first, storytelling first, which I love. My favorite part of playing D&D is pretending to be other people. So I have a cast of outstanding individuals who we're going to meet right now. I want to go around the horn, and if we could, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Let us know what your pronouns are and anything that you'd like to promote along the way. And if you want to even just do a one-line intro for your character, we can do that as well. Let's start with you, Goldie. Oleg.
I am Goldie. I'm going to be playing the Seraph Oleg. That's all I got to say right now.
Goldie, what time is it where you're at right now?
4 a.m. I've been awake for about 30 minutes.
The real hero.
All right, let's move on to Dar. Toleran.
All right, yeah, I'm Sean, or Teleron in most places on Twitch here, and yeah, I will be playing Dar, the Clank Sorcerer. Yeah, I have a couple channels. My video game channel is Teleron, and my upcoming tabletop streaming page will be all 6 sides.
Very nice. All right. Throg, Mac, how's it going?
Good. I am Mac, known as Mac the Axon here. I am playing Throg, the stalwart guardian. That's about it. I don't really have anything to promote.
I promote you, Mac. Story Sage.
Hi, hello. My name is Sage. This lovely creature over here is George. My pronouns are they, them. And you can find me on almost all social media platforms, including Twitch at Story Sage, which is STORI Sage. And my PC is out, but I should get it back at the end of this month, and then we will be back to streaming. But yeah, definitely check me out. Like, click my little name if you're on Twitch up here in the title, and make sure to join my Discord because Friday we have a Studio Ghibli movie night. I am playing Elend. Yeah, exciting, right? I love it. I'm playing Elend, who is a fungal wizard, and I'm super excited.
I bet they are a fungal wizard as well. I don't know what that means.
You know what?
Definitely a fun girl wizard.
I just
All right, Hal playing Helm, right?
I'm playing the Qatari Rogue Helm. On Tuesday nights, I DM The Lost Isles here on Twitch. Go by Hal at RPG. And on Fridays, I got to be on the lovely cast of Solid 10 D&D. So if you have nothing going on tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Solid 10 D&D. And I'm super excited to play with all these fine people. So thanks for having me, Ghost.
Yes, thanks for coming in. Great chance to shout out Solid 10. Y'all, tomorrow's Un's Day, right? Fantastic. You will all be playing tomorrow, right? If memory serves. It's funny because I've been editing those clips for Solid, and I see your faces so much more than I think you realize. Moving on down the line to Phoenix.
Hi, my name is Jen. You can call me Jen or Blue or Phoenix or Blue Phoenix. I use she, her pronouns. I stream. I do co-working where I do D&D prep work for an upcoming D&D 2024 edition campaign soon-ish. A couple of the people that are on this screen may or may not guest in or become, part of the main campaign. I mean, you just find out when it happens. But I'm also a part of the Solid 10 cast with Hal. My character's name is Echo Lightsprout. He is a fairy. He uses pronouns he, him. It's my first live male character. It's going to be interesting. I don't have the voice down yet. Hopefully I will next month. Fairy druid from the garden.
Fairy druid from the garden. What does that mean exactly? That's what we're here to answer. So this is a session 0. It's not going to be a traditional session 0 because y'all have already done so much work on Discord, and it's thank you for having thoughtful answers and engaging in that way. It's made things just super enjoyable for me, hopefully for you all as well, but definitely for me, which is, makes me happy. So what we did first is I put out a survey asking anyone who wanted to sign up to sign up. And in that process, you all filled it out and agreed to be a part of this little experiment. We instantly started talking about what your characters would be like. You all had some great ideas right off the bat. We've developed those. We've sort of even talked about locations in the world. The homebrew world that we're doing this in is called Aeryndor. It's completely homebrewed. Some of you have played in it through our one-shots previous. And all of those one-shots sort of culminate in the adventure that you're having now. You don't need to have been a part of them previously to enjoy it. It's all the lore of the world has been building to this moment. So as we start to move through, I have an agenda. I even have it in front of me like I'm at work. This is fantastic.
Fancy.
Goldie's laughing because I never have an agenda.
Too.
No comment.
Goldie knows I'm the least organized person when it comes to these things. What I want to cover tonight is I want to talk more in depth about some of the backstory elements that we've developed. I've talked to all of you at some capacity about your character's backstory. Weaving those into the world, but also weaving them into one another has been a lot of fun. There's been some really great coincidences, like having a scarecrow and a flying monkey. Like, what are the odds?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
We almost had a witch. We almost had a witch.
That is true.
So
We're
close.
bringing our own wizard.
Hey, why
Bring in
can't I be the
our
Wizard of
own
Oz?
There we go. We got a wizard.
There's got to be some kind of a fungal pun that we can say for the Oz part of that. I got to start Googling. Yeah. So one thing I want to do is talk about your characters, talk about sort of what your thought is with who they are as beings, as mortals, talk about the campaign frame that we've written for this and what you can expect going forward. Right off the bat, though, I want to talk about a few things for safety. So obviously, this is all role play. You all are responsible adults. I do want to talk a little bit about, we got into it in the survey about what are lines and veils and talk about X card type material, coming up with a common sign. If anything is off the table, if we're going to a place where people are like, meh, just coming up with a sign. I thought this whole thing would be the perfect version of it because it's on screen and I can see it. Also, it's very symbolic. So if anyone has any objections or something else that they'd like to suggest for our X card, short of actually writing cards and putting them in front of your cameras, all yours.
I think that's good.
Tossing up a big X. All right. When it comes to lines, we don't have much sexual violence, sexual themes in general. It's kind of the only real outlined line that we have currently. We will fade to black where necessary. If that sounds good to everybody. Great.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the story before we start talking about characters. Here's the long and short of it. Some of you have been into Goldie. I think you've been in every one shot so far, even the one that we didn't finish. And Sage and Phoenix, you both were in different ones as well. So everything has been sort of building up in this world to the gods are dying in this world. Their miracles are faltering. Their temples are crumbling. Their voices grow quiet. And in the silence, something older begins to stir. Forgotten power buried beneath a scar in the land where a star once fell. Now you are marked or chosen, however you want to view that, by what you believe are fading gods, hunted by the rising ones and caught in a battle for the soul of the world. As reality fractures and myths take on lives of their own, your story may be the one that shapes what comes next, or what ends it. In The Shattered God, you'll play heroes bound to the last flicker of divine power, navigating a world where faith is fragile, monsters wear familiar faces, and every legend begins with a choice. Some of the themes we're going for are, mystical, magical, not to push a top song, mythical, haunting, unstable, celestial, symbolic, tragic, and mysterious. And that should align with what many of you put on your survey when you joined up. Themes deal with fallen faith, fractured identity, divine collapse, legacy, choice, becoming a myth, hope and despair, as opposed to hope and fear. Anyone have any questions?
No questions from me so far.
All right.
Nope.
Hope and despair. I'm sorry. Beautiful. Death kiss.
All right.
I need to
So
switch out my hope dice for despair dice.
they're darker colored, right? Or cloudier, one of the two. All right. So for those of you who don't know, Aeryndor is the name of the world. Veldrennen is the name of the continent. It is the first continent of the world. We haven't created any other ones yet, but we did this way so that if we wanted to expand, we could. So the skies above Veldrennen grow dimmer with each passing night. The stars seem quieter. The moons pull closer than they should. Somewhere deep in the earth, crystal veins whisper through soil and stone. And the people of the city, of the coast and mountain have begun to forget the light. The age is changing. Most just don't realize it yet. Long ago, during the age of Dawnfire, a solitary celestial being crossed into this plane. Alone, eternal, and empty, it breathed life into others like itself to stave off the silence. And so the gods were born, radiant, wild, and discordant. To give them purpose, the celestial commanded his children to shape a world. And so they did. dividing creation among themselves, light and life, land and sea, darkness and death. But creation brought with it something unexpected. Mortals, fragile, imperfect, driven. And among them, the gods saw reflections of themselves. In time, they began choosing their favorites, their heroes and prophets, those who carried a divine spark. From these people, legends were born. And from one such legend, a god of chaos emerged. Nixarath, once mortal, was uplifted by the gods of war and death. They believed him worthy of something more. But power twisted its purpose. Joy turned to bloodshed. Cities were broken in his name. Souls delivered to death by the thousands. Regret came too late. And with the help of the mortals, the gods banished Nixarath beyond the veil. Then they too withdrew, fearing their influence would only deepen mortal suffering. But their faith lingered. For centuries, no divine voice pierced the realm. No avatars walked among mortals. Until something else arrived. Another celestial, alien in purpose, vast in power. With the gods silent, it found no resistance. It whispered through dreams, crept into ritual, and seeded its influence in wild and wounded places. And in time, it found a kindred spirit, the still breathing shadow of Nixarath, imprisoned, forgotten, and furious. Their bond will reshape this world. Across Valdrenin, strange crystals have begun to form from rock and root. Beasts warp into crystalline, hollow-eyed monsters. Mortals turn on one another in senseless violence. Sounds familiar. The faithful see visions of strange stars. The land itself unravels. But the gods are returning. One by one, they stir from slumber or exile. And in secret, they begin choosing new champions. The chosen. Mortals to bear their mark, their voice, and their will. These are those who are destined to push back against the usurper's growing influence and prevent the rise of the one they now call the Shattered God. The story picks up here. This little place is called Lunestra. This is where you started with the Silent Tide, although you won't be starting in the docks. You'll be starting in the main city. Now, you all have reasons for being there that we've talked about a little bit. Some of you live there. Some of you work there. Some of you are there on your own quests. This is where it's going to start. So as we move forward in our agenda, that's the overall concept, the aim, the tone, and the subject. We talked about safety tools, and now we can start talking about your characters specifically and how they sort of exist in this world. We don't have to do it in any sort of order. We can sort of move the spotlight around the table and talk about who's doing what. Now, you don't have to reveal anything about your character that you don't want if you want it to be sort of a fun reveal for folks. But there is some opportunity to talk about how your characters interact with the world. I'm going to start talking about Throg. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
You said it was from the language. I thought maybe.
Well, it's supposed to be Throget. No, it's Throg.
Throg. So just through our conversation. So yours is a mixed ancestry, so half orc. The other half is human. Maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say that Throg more? Maybe. Would you say that Throg looks more like a?
He looks more like a traditional orc. The big, tall, blocky, the tusks, polished, very, very nicely polished, but still tusks. The only real, I guess, nod to his normal or his other non-orc ancestry would be the armor, but that's more towards blending in with the surroundings, since orcs are still very much nomadic and not welcome everywhere.
So what would you say Throg knows of their history, like the orc side of their?
He knows it. He knows a lot of the dark stuff. I mean, that stuff was pretty much that while pounded in a different light than everybody else would see it, he does know like the certain battles, why they happened, and he would have throughout the course of interacting with non-orc species found out like, what his ancestry considered like, the great victory at Shattered Spire is actually considered, to everybody else, the catastrophe, the fall of Shattered Spire, something like that. He does kind of put one history with the other and kind of figures out that maybe, a lot of stuff that he grew up very proud of was not actually that great. It was.
So he was proud of those orc.
Yeah. He grew up and he was surrounded by the parades and the fireworks and the stories and thought like, this was a great thing. And then when he gets out and amongst the other races, he finds out, well, that was actually a dick move.
Yeah. So the orcs, and actually there's been a little bit of lore on the orcs, even since last night talking with Sage and Phoenix. So the orcs on this map, Velthyros here in the center, this was the major orc kingdom for a very long time. The orcs sort of rose to power and started pillaging resources out of the earth. They literally climbed up from the earth, climbed out of the earth and started to dominate the world around them. And I won't say they were tolerated for a while, but there wasn't much any one kingdom could do about it. It took all of the kingdoms to band together, creating a pact, fight off the orcs. And that's how they were able to, I mean, your character may view it as genocide. That's not how it's generally presented to the rest of the world, but it very much was like a lot of orcs died. And one of the big things from that is that Nixarath himself was a general during the war that pushed the orcs out. So he is responsible for killing many, many orcs, which is how he gained the favor of the god of war and the god of death. They've been pushed away. So the orcs mainly are just nomadic right at this point. And so you can have your character really be from sort of anywhere.
Well, the one thing that I didn't touch on was the fact that once they were splintered, Throg is actually from one of the tribes that realized that they screwed up. And with everything, with the resources and stuff like that getting dwindled, kind of need everybody else to survive. So they're not the ones. There was kind of two schools of thoughts with the orcs. One was, there's not enough for everybody, so we need to get ours. But then there was another, well, there's not enough for everybody, so we need to share play nice with others. He's actually from one of those tribes, the second.
And Throg is fighting back a lot of the animosity and the harsh feelings that the world has. Yeah. So Throg is, do you want to reveal what Throg does in Lunestra?
Throg is actually a stalwart guardian. He is working for the city of as a guardian, because he is actually there on kind of a peacemaking mission with his tribe and the council of different tribes that all share the view of, our ancestry screwed up, we can be better.
Throg is in Lunestra, when I mentioned that all the kingdoms sort of came together and formed a pact to fight off the orcs, that pact still exists, and that's really the main thing that keeps Lunestra going, is that center area that used to be the orcs has become the pact lands, and they are represented in Lunestra, which is its capital, by a 7-person council. As there were 7 kingdoms that came together. The orcs aren't represented on that council, but Throg is the first ever council guardian or council watch that is of orc descent. So it's kind of a big deal for Throg, and there's a lot riding on the line. Like, a lot of eyes might be on Throg, seeing if he's going to screw up. He probably is getting some animosity from his co-workers, if you want to call them that, and people around him.
there are probably a lot of people who are hoping I screw up.
Yeah.
So
You probably get the stray comment here and there. Great. The only thing I haven't pinned down for Throg, I have a big question mark next to, is where does Throg call home? I know we're saying they're nomadic in nature. Where does he feel most at home?
he is forcing himself to make Lunestra his home. He does return to
More wild.
up in the hill. Yeah, up in the hills right there, right above Valfros.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Up here.
pretty much that whole area between the mountains and the river there, and that far mountain even further northwest towards, what is that, Ralgos?
Yeah. So like this area here, you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So this would be sort of his his homelands.
If he was going to go home and find his, go visit the folks, he'd be heading up towards there to track them down.
All right. So his folks are still alive.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe.
As far as he knows. What ancestry
It's a
do
village.
his parents have? Mother is Orcish?
His mother figure was actually his aunt
Okay.
on his father's side. So his folks aren't, but the people he's known as his folks all of his life are orcs on his father's side.
Oh, so he doesn't know anything about his mother.
What he does know about his mother is that when he was born, he's the reason she is not alive.
Oh, okay.
Whatever race she was, she gave birth to an orc. And that didn't sit well with her folks. Not that they burned a cross in her front yard, but I mean, they did kill her. So I guess that's just bad.
Good stuff. I mean, horribly tragic stuff. Good storytelling elements. Got to be clear.
You gave a good amount of info about stuff.
Fantastic. All right. That's like the perfect spot to, I feel like a lot of orcs, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of orcs would probably still feel a claim to that, especially that mountain range. And whereas that's like where the bulk of their kingdom was located in the age prior. Awesome.
It's a good place to go and think.
Sort of along the similar vein as far as the reasons why they're in Lunestra. Goldie, let's talk about Oleg.
Sorry, my camera's not working out. I saw that later.
No worries.
Yeah, Oleg he's a simia. He's a monkey person. He comes from Regos, which is the region of Valdrenan to the northwest. And in his earlier life, he was part of a troop of simia until he came of age, in which point a lot of the males from the troop tend to go out on their own, and he settled into mercenary work, doing not the most noble work. Things like debt collecting, escorting nobles or caravans, until the mercenary company dissolved after crossing the wrong noble, but nothing drastic. It sort of just fizzled out and faded into obscurity. At which point, Oleg eventually finds himself not too far from Lunestra, in a place called Truevale. In Truevale, it's almost like a commune where people were living off the land, and he was taken in by a family there until that place was eventually attacked by what I believe is something to do with whatever's happening in the world right now. And he was sort of saved by a religious order of knights and taken in with them. And that's why he's now a seraph, or if a D&D speak, if people aren't familiar with seraphs, they're somewhere between a cleric and a paladin sort of theme. For what Ghost started with, the link to Throg's story is he is currently serving as a not so very good guard in Lunestra.
What does that mean? Not so very good guard. Never met one of those in my life.
He's not very attentive to his duties.
Yeah. So Oleg, do you want to reveal the night order, or do you want to do that during gameplay?
I can talk about it now. I just didn't want to info dump everyone so that they struggle to remember things.
All right, we can approach. I guess it's not important to what we're just talking about, but you exist with a group that's trying to establish themselves in Lunestra, trying to get their foot in the door, and they're doing a lot to try to do that. One of the things they're doing is taking guard shifts from City Watch to Council Watch, that sort of thing. And we've talked about Oleg and how they're often voluntold for the mundane, monotonous work, right?
Yeah, so Oleg is the junior member of the knights who arrived in the city, so he gets the worst jobs and he doesn't like doing them.
But listen, I was a private, so if you need a list of bad jobs in a military regime,
he gets sent to the stores for big weights and long stands and
no good. Lots of mopping too. All right. And so we've established your point of origin, which was this Corvea up in the corner here, sort of more of a, there's not, as far as like infrastructure for Regos is concerned, there wasn't much before we started this, but between you and Hal, we've sort of built up a little bit. Now there's this like sort of a fortress, like a wooded fortress that's there to act as sort of a waypoint between Corvallis and Regos. Corvallis is this little area here, which is the human domain, and humans are by nature a pain in the ass. I'm sure we all know that. They're constantly trying to expand their territory, and Regos is constantly trying to push them back. So your original settlement acted as sort of a buffer between the citizenry of Regos and any sort of expeditions into the area. And True Val is over here quite a ways away. That's where you ended up. And on that subject, let's go to Toleran, Dar.
All right. So Dar is in game terms, a clank, but they are actually a creepy scarecrow.
Love it.
I think only recently has come to life. Before that, they were actually a scarecrow. Not too much. I want to get into it now, but yeah, they awoke in True Vale and have been trying to make their way down to Lunestra.
Someone said, hopefully
I am
the scarecrow.
so curious because you're like, I was awoken and I'm making my way down there. Like, I'm like, man, like, Rez, like, turn you animate and then say, go do this for me? I'm so curious. I mean, we'll find out. But,
what makes a scarecrow get up and walk to Lunestra?
I know, right? Like, what did that?
There have been several movies on this subject. It's available,
Horror movies.
usually available from September to October 31st.
There is not.
Hello.
just so that we're all on the same page, in the world of Aeryndor, there is no yellow brick road. It's not there. We have a flying monkey. We have a scarecrow.
Yet.
There's no yellow yet. We'll see where this session 0 takes us. All right. So without revealing your backstory, I'm trying to think what questions I can ask that's not going to get us down that road.
We already talked to the Tin Man, so.
What backstory? Okay, I'm done.
I would at this point like to point out none of us planned the whole Stravas team.
Nope. I had the idea for this character like in the back of my mind like for over a year and just haven't had a chance to use it. And this one was it. And then, yeah, we're going through and then all of a sudden pops up a flying monkey. And I was like, oh, God.
Perfect.
Whoops.
We almost had a witch. Okay. We're going to take a lot of interesting twists and turns.
Really?
Gosh. Oh, yeah. You don't want to talk about why you're coming to Lunestra because that would spoil it. What connections has Dar made since setting out on his journey to Lunestra? What other connections pre-story does Dar have in the outside world?
On their way, he's probably scared a few people the first few interactions.
Why?
And then, I don't know. Just like, this
Scare me.
creepy looking scarecrow walking around, and his face only has kind of two modes. There is the resting creepy face and then more of like a snarl. And other than that, they don't have much control over their facial features. It's one or the other.
I'd love to see what counts as a smile on Dar's face. Outstanding.
Just kind of
That's about all I can do.
You know?
Oh, and quite often, if he's not actively thinking about it or like just resting or not paying attention to things, his head will just slightly, or not more than slightly, just hang to the side.
Just all right. Yeah. So as far as connections that he's made just with scaring people, sort of maybe a couple of conversations that pointed him in the direction of Lunestra to answer his, or to figure out what his journey is about.
I think maybe like traveling even before they knew Lunestra was what they're looking for. Maybe there was a lone traveler that was getting attacked by a animal or something that he scared the animal away, and then it was getting late, so he camped out with the person that he helped, and maybe that's when he asked a few questions and found out that Lunestra is where he should be headed.
Where would you say that this occurred? Like when Dar set off out of Trueville, where would you say, what direction do you think he started in?
Maybe just started heading south.
Maybe Dar accidentally went on the wrong side of the mountains first.
I mean, probably so interestingly enough, this area over here is mostly elves. They keep to themselves and generally don't like anybody, but they tolerate, like, we have halflings. They tolerate halflings and whatnot. So you will see some of them here. You'll see halflings all around the sort of the outskirts of this area. They're just generally sort of an accepted bunch. So there's a pretty good possibility that maybe it was a halfling he encountered that he saved.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Anything else you wanna bring up?
There's something we going over later where we're talking about like if any of us know each other beforehand, or
I want to go through everyone's backstory, and then we can talk about connections that aren't. Some of you have connections, but then we can talk about any additional connections that you may want to introduce, if that works for everybody. Okay.
Maybe one of you met a creepy scarecrow on the road and was like, "Hey, this guy seems interesting."
Like, look at that one. Look at that. Look at that snarl.
Look at that snarl. They're so cute. So I'm going to make a little pet out of this scarecrow,
But that definitely has to happen.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Forgot that I was muted.
Sounds like you volunteered.
Sounds like a volunteering.
I was going to say that I can't wait to meet all the personalities of these characters. It's going to be great. Okay.
I can't wait to hear all the voices for the characters.
Still working on it.
You don't have to. No, voice work isn't required at all. I just know that Phoenix is working on a voice.
Who you're talking to?
Oh,
I know my voice is going to upset Baltazar.
Oh, no. Okay, so
as long as it's done
Echo.
in.
Oh gosh, Echo is from the garden.
What's the garden?
Which is another realm. It's kind of like the Fey realm, except that all the plants are literally alive. Like the blades of grass are all individual creatures, and the trees and everything. Literally, if it has life, it is sentient. So flowers and everything are completely alive for a specific reason that only one other person knows. Echo left that realm and came to this realm to find answers for mysteries. Ooh, hold on. I actually specifically wrote a one-liner. Let's see. In search of answers to magical mysteries of his realm. Yep. That's all y'all get. He's been asking lots of questions, but they're very vague to start until he thinks people might know something. And then he tries to find like their leader or of some sort or something. to get more information. So, but yeah, so he, along with, I don't remember how to pronounce your character's name. Elamund?
It's okay. It's so weird. It's like Elumd.
Elumd.
Got it.
Elumd.
Gonna mess that one up so
Elumd
much.
knows more information, but they came together to Lunestra to talk to the council for information for separate reasons, but they both need information. Yeah.
They set off to see the wizard.
Yes, we are off to see the wizard.
The wonderful
Follow-
Wizard of Oz.
Now,
There hasn't-
we're
Or
gonna
off to
have it
be the wizard.
Or off to.
Oh.
There you go.
You know what?
I
off
like it.
with the wizard.
Yeah.
Canonically, we haven't placed a wizard on the council, but I think we've only filled 4 seats. So I'll leave that to you all. There are that the council is full. However, we haven't actually talked about who is on it, with the exception of 4 people.
Understood. So if we want a wizard on there, we have to have somebody first, So
Or you could just say the one from this region is a wizard. You don't have to. It's so violent.
what are you talking about? I thought we were making, difficult choices. I'm kidding. Okay. The one question I had is, which I don't know if you know the answer to this yet, Ghost. Where does my realm bubble pop up that I came from? Where is it on the map? Where did we come out at?
It's up to you. You gave me a list of. So you see it as shimmering things portally.
Yes, I do.
So I know that you want to come down in a bubble, bro, but like Galinda. However,
Galinda.
We have watched that movie several times, far too many. So I was leaving it to you. I know that you had locations that he is aware of. So you can tell me which of the locations you described. And once you tell me which one, I'll let you know where that is.
Okay. Of course, Sage might already know where they want Elamund to come from.
I have a possible idea.
So
But
you came to this realm and then found Elamund.
I was when I came to this realm, it was in kind of Elamund's territory.
Okay. So we'll leave it to Sage.
I got an idea.
They can figure out where you are.
Oh no.
Now, you gave me a list of not NPCs, but descriptions of NPCs that you encountered in the different regions as you moved around. So you weren't alone for any of that. You and Elamund worked. Am I saying that right? Elamund? Elamund.
No, I'm so sorry.
Elamund.
It's literally just Elumd.
Elamund.
Yes, you got it.
Elamund. Elamund. Elamund.
Yes.
Did El sigh? No. Elamund. I should remember that.
I'm going to remember it now too.
Okay. I completely lost what my question was.
I'm so sorry. I can just hear Phoenix like wheezing over there.
So Elumd is with Echo the entire time.
Okay. All right. And you didn't name any NPCs. You just described them. Did you want to flesh them out, or did you want me to?
I did name some of them.
Did you tell me the names already?
I would have to look back, but if I didn't, I can get you their names again. They're right in front of my face right now. But I did tell you that there were 2. I was going to give you more details about their personality and stuff like that.
Okay, go for it.
But there were 2 people that I hadn't done anything with. This is the other question I wanted to ask you. So thank goodness you brought this up. So I didn't write it down. Okay. So I said I wanted to know a couple of other people, and I don't know where I would have met them at because I don't know where these places are in your world.
Okay.
One of them, I would want it to be at some sort of library, whatever library is like well known in the world, where you go say, hey, where's the best library? And 80% of people say the same place type thing, you know? Like, if there is a library like that exists, Echo would have gone there and made an ally there of some sort that like works at the library or like someone that visited there a lot or something like that.
All right. So there are several possibles. There's one that you wouldn't know of. There's
in Elven.
There's a big potential for, so Elfwin over here is the Elvish domain. I would say that's probably a great candidate to have a fantastic library. We haven't done any fleshing out of this region at all. No one has visited here or been from here or anything like that. So you have free reign to build me a library. Or tell me what you want.
Do the elves like fairies and thungrels?
I think you could probably establish that they would view you as, they would probably be the only beings that would know what you are. Maybe not Elumd. Maybe not Elumd, but definitely Echo.
Okay. Cool. Well, then, yes, I would like to establish that library.
Okay.
That'd be great. I would love that.
Yeah, so the capital is Aeryndor, but you can have it be in someplace outside of that. Totally up to you.
Okay.
Can you show me again, please, where on the map that is?
Yeah, so that would be here. I can't zoom in, unfortunately. I think I'm maxed out on my zoomage. Right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's like a floating landmass here.
Okay.
And that's where their capital is. This whole region is Elven territory. So this is just sort of where their capital is, and probably some towns. And
okay. So related to what we were talking about a second ago. So there's a library, and then there was one more.
Okay.
Now, given that magic isn't like rampant in this world, there probably isn't an arcane academy.
There would probably be arcane academies in both Aeryndor and Lunanesra. And so it's not very common amongst all of the people. However, there are practitioners of magic throughout the realm, but they're more like maybe more wizardly, more scholarly, less raw, less sorcery type magic, more like I studied real hard and figured this out kind of magic. So there would be academies in Lunesra and Aeryndor specifically, but we could establish there even being some rogue academies out there that are maybe off the beaten path. Totally up to you how you want to approach that or how you want that academy to be flavored.
Cool. So I
imagine like
my own academy too.
If you want to, yeah. So even imagining like up in Regos, I'm sure there's some sort of magic associated to like the wild spirit that they focus on and practice and just approach those magics differently. It's all about how you want that academy to be flavored.
Okay. And you said that there would probably be one in that Elven city. Where was the other second location? You said there's probably one that you kind of already have established.
Oh, so there, and then Lunesra, where you're at.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it.
Yeah. Because actually, I think we established back in A Dance of Hidden Blaze. Do you remember, Goldie, the name of the academy? I have it written down. There is an academy in Lunesra that Cedric Vaymar went to before he was brutally slain. Forgot about it.
Okay. Either possibly. I wouldn't want to use if I did he would probably try to talk to people in the academy at like any type of arcane academy or like big library anywhere that he went. So he'll probably talk to the arcane academy in the library in the Elven city as well. And probably talked would have talked Sage's character into going to Lunestra's academy first before going to the council, just to see what they could learn together before heading in. Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Cool.
So I have that written down, and I'll send you that once I build with them.
All right. And if you don't want to, just let me know what your thoughts are, and I can put that together. I know that's a lot. Building a library, I mean, just to finance it alone is ridiculous. So yeah, let me know what you want, and then whatever you don't want to pick up, I can definitely just take from you and roll with it. I just want you all to have the opportunity to, make those parts of the world your own if you choose to. So
Gotcha.
all right. So let's transition to Elmd. Did I say it right?
Yes. So Elmd is a mushroom person with all these like red eyes all over his mushy white body. And yeah, I just misgendered them. Their pronouns are they, them, but we all make mistakes. So they kind of, how do I say that? They found their way up to the surface from their underground society. And I'll ask you, Ghost, can you remind me of the area where the orcs inhabited?
Yeah, so it's this whole region here around Veltheros, and I intentionally didn't put like actual like lines because I felt like who would have done that, So mainly around this group of mountains over here, they pushed out into the world pretty far, but the bulk of their kingdom was centered on the mountains here, like this. Mm-hmm. This was named after the fact, but that whole culture has just been completely overwritten.
1 second. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that Elmd kind of surfaced even farther north. Elmd is a creature like none other. I don't think really anyone in Aeryndor has experienced or met anyone like Elmd. They are very foreign, almost alien, even themselves to Aeryndor. They're very unfamiliar with seemingly everything. If I can't speak. If Echo is going to be around the same area as Elmd kind of surfaces from, I would say it's still like north, but I'm thinking that Elmd kind of traveled and they kind of ended up not like stumbling upon each other, but I imagine Echo was able to kind of target this specific area and meet Elmd, and then they kind of joined and traveled and went through, to the library or the academy or wherever else. And Elmd is a little bit weird. It's just really weird. Elmd is searching for answers. They don't know exactly where they're going to find what they're looking for, but they know that they are searching for some mysterious magical knowledge that they are seeking out.
And the mystery tour.
I can't really say a lot.
I got you. I like that you're all keeping it so close to the chest. I know. Let me start by, I like that it's not a mystery for me. I do like that you're playing it close to the chest.
Yeah.
All right. And you all are coming to Lunestra for the same purpose that we're not going to totally reveal. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else that you want to add as far as people that you may have encountered, any connections you may have had? I know that we've talked a little bit about it offline as far as connections are concerned, but
I don't. And the main reason why is because I don't think that Elmd appreciates any sort of connection with these sentient creatures in Aeryndor. They're all just, in a way, the same to them. And so none of them really stick out to Elm's mind. And frankly, even if they met, for example, the connections that Echo is making, they would likely not even remember them because they don't view it as important.
and like every being that Elend encounters is just completely foreign to them as well, right? Yeah.
Right. Except for Echo or possibly the rare few. For example, Elend would have some familiarity with... One second. I forgot your character's name. Would have some familiarity with Throg's species. But other than that, would very, 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 very ever recognize anything familiar in any of these creatures.
Okay. Beautiful. And I love what you guys are revealing as well. Can't wait to explore that as we play. Last but not least, Helm.
Helm.
You know, I had it until I looked back and you read and I saw Hal plus M.
Helm.
I was like,
Yeah.
Helm?
Yep. So I think Helm is a Slyborn Qatari. He's probably 5'10-ish, but very tight switch muscles, like many panthers might have out in the jungle. His family is from Moonjaw Perch. They're a noble family. Excuse me. They're a noble family. Some who visit around council chambers might know Hal. The council members might know Hal. He's the vizier to, how do you say this person's name? Mar, M-A-R-R-E.
Oh, Mar. Sorry, M-A-R-R-E. Yeah.
He's pretty quiet and keeps himself, but those outside of his job and his family know Hal to be very much a kind of charismatic and a little bit cocky kind of person, as most young nobles who don't think they're going to grow up to be a noble at some point in time. You know, he's in human years, probably between 18 and 22. So he's very much brash, but inside of work, he takes it somewhat seriously. He's not relatively new to Lunestra, but he left Moonjaw Perch because he was looking to get out from under the thumb of his family. Unfortunately, through rumors, I mean, some might have heard that he is the second sibling of somebody else of moderate, at least what the rumors might say, moderate importance, particularly around the council chambers. And like all those of noble birth, is somewhat gone from, hey, you're going to go to the best schools like you and your sister are going to go to. And where his sister was an outstanding student, Hal skipped school so he could go play in fence club, right? He wanted to go to fence club and learn how to fight and figured things out. And I think he's come to Lunestra to not necessarily fit in, but carve a way for himself. And if you know him outside of this job, you know very much that he wants to push himself to be more, at least seen as more, become some kind of hero of in folklore or something. I think he has dreams of being something greater and than he might want to be. And if that's something that Lunestra won't embrace him with, he's greatly probably just going to steal it.
I like it. So part of Helm's position in Lunestra. So Mari is the council person that represents Regos, right? I know I gave you a thing on it, and I'm looking through your thing to find it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, Mari Bloodpelt is the council member representative to Regos. And because you are in Lunestra and you are a noble, you sort of take up a position in their court. So you may not have like the fanciest of jobs at court, but you still have a position to be had. And as such, you would be familiar with, the only orc that's ever known to be on the council. You have probably heard rumors or seen him on duty and heard the whispers and all this other stuff. So you definitely have some knowledge of Throg, and you can discuss with Oleg if you have ever heard of Oleg, like if has his bad soldiering gotten to the point where he now has a reputation that you have taken note of. So I will absolutely leave that up to you. We did quite a bit of world building we built the actual place where you're from, which is actually, I think, the largest settlement in Ragos. Currently, it's like the capital of Ragos. We hadn't had that previously. And we also established a new lesser god as well, the god of the hunt, which is fun because we needed more of those.
I think from answering that question, and maybe if Oleg was so kind to think about anybody who's done anything underhanded or underworldly, Hal takes very keen interest in. And so if he's some kind of a bad soldiering, I think maybe, at one point in time they might have met, or he might have seen Hal creeping around the spires of the city, as he may spend time outdoors, but Hal certainly spends time out at night, despite what his day job might be.
Oleg is definitely the kind of person who's going to be shirking his duties to go out and explore and get into trouble. In fact, in part of his backstory, I think there was an NPC we made who, I think the exact words were, Oleg likes to have her get them out of trouble together. So that could definitely be switched to a noble with the right connections.
Oh,
If that's what you're going for.
Yeah, that sounds good.
that would be so cool.
I'm like, how did Goldie get sideways?
I don't know what my camera is doing right now.
I mean,
I'll figure it out. Okay.
Oh, he's a flying monkey, so he's just
Yeah.
I gotta hug him down to say hi.
We're having our first, it's what my character would do moment. Awesome.
Crouching tiger, flying monkey.
Rotate
such
90
a good
degrees
interpretation.
clockwise.
Spot on. Beautiful.
I'll start doing the little movements next.
You mean crouching panther? Flying monkey?
Nice.
Nice.
How?
That is the joke I was going for, yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean by underworldly?
Underworldly. Like Hal spent time in Fence Club.
The first rule of Fence Club.
The secret underbelly of every society. You gotcha. Okay. I understand. I was just like,
Not literally underground.
wait, how do you go under the world? I don't think that's happening.
Tunnels?
You go too far under the world, you're on top of the world again.
That's where Hal's trying to go.
On top of the world, indeed.
We got something in common then, huh?
All right. So now that you've heard everyone's backstories, is there any other sort of natural threads that you want to pull on to say, hey, maybe there was something that I've encountered or someone I've heard of or a common something. Now we haven't established how long you've each been in Lunestra. I know for Oleg and Dar, we kind of talked more about months since the inciting incident, but for everyone else, how long you've been in Lunestra searching for whatever, we haven't really established that. So this would be if you want to sort of talk it out, see what maybe connections you may have for one another, this would be a great time to do it.
I think there's
a map.
The map?
Just in Discord. Can you just put it there so I could see all of it?
Oh, yeah. I think I can do that.
Cool. If so, I might know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
I think there's specific things in Daggerheart, at least on the Demiplane integration of connections, right? There are 3 questions that say, hey, what did I recently convince you to do that got us in trouble? Right?
Mhm.
I would probably ask Throg that, since I've seen him around the council chamber at some point in time. Are we going to do that here, or we want to do that out?
Yeah, no, by all means, please do. Divvy out your questions to whomever you deem fit. Some of you are more natural than others, like Echo and Elmond. Elmond.
I know.
Do you want to just answer now?
Which question was it for me?
I didn't think so. Say it one more time.
No,
It was-
which
Yeah.
What have I done recently to get to what Hal, would you like to go?
Sure. All right, Throg. Since I've seen you around the council chamber, and I'm relatively new, and you might be relatively new, but What did I recently convince you to do that got us both in trouble?
You probably needed an escort into one of your soirees to the underground, and not like the dwarves and the gnomes, but like, the criminal organizations. Yep. Just to clarify for some people. But you probably got me to escort you there, and all I knew was it was just like, okay, this is a council member who needs, or this is a noble who needs an escort. This is what I'm supposed to be doing here, and hilarity ensued. Escort mission into like some.
Yeah, perhaps that
activity.
I was new to this place, and I'm all right. You being a guardian, I probably would have asked Rog after one of the meetings as they were walking out. He's like, "Hey, I'm new here. I don't know my way around. Can you perhaps like take me, underground? You know what I mean? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge."
So Helm knew what he was asking for when he asked Throg to take him someplace.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know where the crime place is?
Can you take me to the crime?
Can you take me to the house of crime?
Where's the veils?
All right, cool. Anyone else have any? If you look at Demiplan, it does have questions for developing your characters towards the. Is it journal? Is that what it's under? Or is that's the other part?
I think it's
under details
tab.
Yeah, details.
So I'm assuming that all of our characters know each other at the start, but if I were to ask the question so that it might make more sense later, I'd like to ask Elend why they ask Oleg so many questions about their god.
I think that the entire aspect of, I think that Aeryndor's concept of the gods themselves is foreign to Elend. Their home is rooted much more in, very, 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 very old history. And Elend is very old. So their understanding of celestial beings and the gods, and even, I forgot his name. I don't know how to say his name. Nixarath? How do you say his name?
Yep, Nixarath.
I think that their understanding is just very different.
Okay.
Now, what would Elend's knowledge of the gods be? Like if Elend and their people are so long-lived and so old, they probably wouldn't know many of the lesser gods. Would you say that Elend knows the general greater pantheon, or maybe just that one god above all that we haven't talked too much about? I always know when Tage is taking notes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I type 100 words a minute, so that's why I keep muting myself. I'm like, okay, no typing ASMR. I think that Elend is of course aware of the kind of original pantheon of Aeryndor, as well as that big overreaching god, as well as some of the history of the shattered god. But I think that their knowledge is much more, frankly, historically accurate. But at the same time, I think it's distorted in a way because Elend's home is so extremely different from Aeryndor. And I also think that Elend, similarly, in a similar way as the Echo's Garden, kind of views the gods as interactive in the way of like they have existed and still in some way remain in the very structure of the earth. Like whereas Aeryndor may consider gods to be lost and unfamiliar and, detached now from Aeryndor, I feel like Elend is, of course, aware of their absence, but still in their mind feels very much so their kind of living history as a presence in the nature and the earth around them.
It's hard to ask questions that won't reveal more, but I get what you're saying, and I have additional questions for you that I'll just talk to you in our thread.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyone else?
I was still kind of waiting for the map so I could see all of them together.
Sorry.
It's okay. So I could remember all the places that Echo went. All those side
Hey, you know where
deity talk.
you know where you could go?
Yeah. Where?
You could go to ghostlightxe.com where we have fantastic merch options. If you'd like to support the stream, you can do it there. Buy a t-shirt. You can see all of the updated streams, what's coming on. You can also click on the Aeryndor tab, find a map, and maybe even some profiles of previous characters that some of you may or may not have created.
That was smooth.
Yeah, synergy.
Is beautifully crafted there. But yes, the deity thing I had mentioned in like the essay of text that I sent you, how I thought it might be neat to have two deities in the garden that like work together, like, and they just kind of like do everything together or whatnot. I haven't really thought that much about them, but I feel like Echo's connection to them is like, hey, these two beings make this place like possible and run and has cool stuff and like probably doesn't worship them in any way, but appreciates them and respects them, you know, to the like the highest, you know.
Yeah. So the realm that we're talking about is something that was, do you want to reveal like, or do you want to keep that close to the chest too, as far as the, no? Okay.
I mean, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Do I want to reveal, but the realm is separate.
It is completely separate. And
yeah, sort of.
Okay. So there are gods that are associated with the realm, its creation, but as far as the management and what's the powers that are acting upon that realm, that's something that we have, or we're going to establish, we can establish. So coming up with some, we're playing it really fast and loose with the arch, fae, lesser gods kind of themes. So if you want to come up with some lesser gods for the realm that you worship that have some synergy and sort of play off one another. Similarly to, did we reveal, we didn't reveal Oleg's gods, right?
We didn't say so. Yeah, I'm not trying to hide them. It's just hadn't wanted to come up in conversation.
Okay, so there are two gods. There's Lua and Solaris, the moon and the sun. They complement one another. So only the one has domain over the glade, right? Only Lua?
Yeah, that was Lua's.
Okay. So there are similarly fashioned lesser gods that work in similar ways. So you can come up with some for your realm and just let me know what they are the lesser god of.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Echo does have particular followers of certain gods that Echo is keeping, like he's ever since he got here, like in one of his book journeys in some library, learned about the gods of this realm because before that he had no idea. None. So like anything that has to do with, because y'all all know that there's magical, mysteries. I did mention that about the garden that are happening right now. So anything that's magic related or nature related, like any of those deities, and knowledge. So nature, arcana, and knowledge, those are the three deities that Echo is the most interested in learning about because they seem the most connected to what is going on in his realm.
You know where a great place to learn about that would be?
Please do tell me.
GhostlightXE.com. No, I'm just joking. Lunesra.
Well, eventually, yeah. That's the last. That's the most recent journey there, yeah. But yeah, now that I have the map on ghostlightxe.com, I'm going to go ahead and look at it and decide who I might have a question for once I get to that.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Dar. Does Dar have any questions, Tolerant?
Well, there's only two that really can apply. One of them is, why do you trust me so deeply? And the other one is, what did I do that makes you so cautious around me? Like who I would have come in contact with or...
Well, it feels like the most natural the most natural group for you to fall in with would be Elmd and Echo, because they have been travelers more than any of the other. Like the other three seem to be pretty much stationed in Lunestra already, so they are also journeying to Lunestra. So it seems to me that would be a connection. Is everyone open to that?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe we ran across Oleg whenever, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
Maybe a
like most recently, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you should go to Lunestra. That's where I'm going." And then we're like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll go there." And then,
We're off to see the wizard.
yeah.
Oh, no.
I did another party member on our journey down the green and brown earth road.
I mean,
Was it yellow?
Dar and Oleg are coming from the same place.
Yes. But Oleg is there. Dar took some
Mhm. Right.
slightly other route.
Could be a roundabout way of getting there.
Where is Truevale? I mean, I'd say they probably actually met up like a little bit between Truevale and Lunestra, maybe more towards like the mountains of Velthiros, maybe.
All right. So if it's the two of you, then I will say, Echo, what did I do that makes you cautious around me?
Echo would say that he is cautious of every being on this realm in existence over here. Nothing you did. Literally everybody.
I really like this connection too, because you wouldn't necessarily be like judging him for the fact that he's a walking, talking scarecrow. Elmd wouldn't know that that's not a normal thing in the area. Echo may have a sense of it, maybe, but like just another weird being that we encountered, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know all sorts of weird beings that are weird to, this realm. And a lot of this realm is weird to me in general. It's just another being in this realm. So yeah,
Fair enough.
that's what you would get.
And Elmd, why do you trust me so deeply?
It's canon now.
Fuck no. I wouldn't say it is a trust, but I think that Elmd would feel like a sense of just like almost a mutual understanding, just because of the way that people kind of like treat Dar and the way that they kind of like look at him, because he's this scarecrow and they're like, what the fuck? Because, people look at Elmd like that, like he is, like they are really foreign to Aeryndor, but it's like the way that they're treated because of that. I have a question for you, Dar. I'm trying to decide which one to ask. Okay, what hobby or strange fascination do the two of us share?
Maybe learning to sew.
Learning to sew. Okay.
One's more practical than the other.
This is actually hilarious because Elmd, like, dude's a mushroom. Like, what purpose do they have in sewing? Like, nothing. It's just this random thing.
Well,
yeah.
You want to decorate your wheelbarrow.
Yeah, right.
You probably also don't find too many clothes that fit you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. You
could
reap
make
what
your
you
own
sow.
clothes.
Very nice.
Because, Dar's robes, like very old and falling apart, have patches all over them of like all different fabrics. And it seems like over ages too, like there's some really old ones that are stitched on to repair it, and then newer ones that even cover up some of those a bit. And they just have a lot of like random fabric stitch on to kind of repair all their clothing.
I actually love this because I just thought where Elend came from, clothes probably were not even a necessity. So I feel like Echo is used to that, but Elend kind of met Dar, and Dar, has, this whole kind of the stitched together kind of aesthetic. And Elend, I feel like Elend was just
I mean, Echo's wearing please.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one tries to make penicillin
No.
We're not that advanced yet, I guess. I don't know. We do magic, but not medicine. I don't know. This is fantastic. You all, great work. And does anyone else have any other connections they want to talk about?
Actually, I have one for Hallam, but I'm going to be different about this. Pick a number 1 through 3.
Number 1.
Okay.
Because he's number 1, obviously. Helm.
Yeah.
Obvious.
So how did I save your life first time we met?
I was breaking into the main council members' chambers to pick his seal so I could seal his diploma that he never graduated with. And so that his family doesn't know about. And so Al went in there to steal something, the signet, to seal his diploma so he can make sure to give it to his parents, say, see, I graduated. But Al never went to school. So I think after you had escorted me in and we got busted, and, maybe you kept an eye on me, and then I was making my way in the middle of the night to go in to take something. And perhaps there was another person in there that wasn't supposed to be in there. And I was overmatched, and you had followed me or kept an eye on me, and that person was going to either turn me in or take my life. And you doing what you do, you guarded me, or you were a guardian of me that night, and you fought off that person. And I was bravely injured, and you nursed me back to health.
Ghost, do all of us have 3 different questions in connections? I have to ask them then. I mean, these are hilarious questions. Okay, so the first one is obviously for Ellen, because it couldn't be for anybody else.
Oh, no.
What affectionate nickname have you given me?
Okay, wait. I got to think about this.
Is Echo your real name?
Yes.
Gosh, this is a good one. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to think.
Tinkerbell.
Wait.
I need to get fairy wings. Oh!
Okay. I would say Moss.
I have some you can borrow.
And yes, so the reason why I'm going to say Moss is because exactly, kind of, Ellen's entire living situation and their home. And in their home, right? First of all, moss grows everywhere, even when you don't want it to. And it's also natural in nature. And yeah, there's this pretty natural, earthen aspect to it, but it's also, it's affectionate, but it's also kind of sarcastic in a way, because they have this kind of rivalry going on. Almost, and so I imagine that's what Ellum has started calling Echo. You pop up.
You grew on me, but I don't have to like it.
Yeah, you grew on me, and you pop up wherever I don't want you to.
Oh, I love it.
What up, Moss?
Okay.
That's so good.
Second question is going to go to Dar.
Okay.
What animal do I say you remind me of?
Maybe because their movement is a little awkward and lanky and wonky. Maybe like a bug with like really long legs, like I don't know if those like stick bugs or whatever, like they move a little like awkwardly, and he's also made of sticks as well, so it kind of reminds you of like a stick bug.
Nice. I love it. I think the only other person that I would have even come into contact with would have been Oleg, right? The others I wouldn't have had a chance to meet anywhere, right?
It all depends on where we say we're starting. You can be entering the city, or you may have already entered the city and are on your way to court. So you can even say you've encountered people from the front gate to...
That's
maybe you've been in Lunestra for a night or so, and you're waiting for the right time to meet the council. It's completely up to you.
Because I talked Elland into us checking out the library there first.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone that would have spent a decent amount of time in or around a library? Or like the Arcane Academy, a library thingy that's there? Right. Anybody? Definitely not Helm.
Oleg could have been sent some form of menial task by one of the knights to be there, but if someone else wants it, they can take it.
Oleg was sent there to dust the bookshelves.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is that, so we've established that the Knights of Oleg's Order have taken up in like an older building that's no longer utilized for anything. It was an old chapel, I think we said. There's some sort of a holy house that they're sort of just taking up residence, and maybe believing it was something more than it was. You've stumbled in there. Maybe Oleg was mopping floors and the
Could have gone in there thinking it was some sort of temple to some god, and because there's those few gods that I'm keeping an eye out for, and maybe I thought it was one of those.
Did we say what the temple was before it was abandoned? Did we establish that?
We did not. I think we were trying to leave some things vague for other players to add to.
So we could say that it was a temple to one of the gods that you're interested in learning about.
Okay, so that would be either, I don't know how to pronounce these gods' names. So the Arcana one, the Knowledge one, or the Nature ones.
Yep.
So one of those.
Probably something like that. Maybe we could even say knowledge. So Kaloris.
Okay.
You could easily mistake Calorisian, I don't know, temple as a library, maybe.
Maybe. Totally could have. Okay, so I probably would have talked a little bit, here and there one time, made the silly, foible of thinking that was the library or whatnot. Okay, oh no, where is my thing? Okay, so the question, what did you confide in me that makes me leap into danger for you every time? That's a good one.
That
why am I
despite looking like a scary, or what might be considered a scary knight, you would much rather not be doing nightly duties and skipping rocks across the river.
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much time. I just have one question for Echo. What favor have I asked of you that you're not sure you can fulfill?
I mean, I might need to message this to you personally.
Yeah, that's okay too. That's okay too.
Because we haven't revealed a lot of the stuff that we already know about each other.
I get you.
So it's related to that. But it's a thing about, maybe I can be super vague and you'll get it. And if you don't, I'll message you. So, to offer a place where it is wanted. That's all I got, unless you want me to message you.
Okay. Yeah, message me, but I think I got it.
I will message you.
Cool. All right.
Everybody else,
all right.
There you go.
Anybody else have any questions for connections?
I'm going to send them the direct message.
Okay. Outstanding. We've been at it for a couple hours. We have a little bit more that I want to touch base on. And at that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a little bit. Everyone sit tight. We're going to talk about any questions we have at Daggerheart and how we're going to handle combat in the sessions ahead. Stick around. But wait, we've got some exciting news. Our new friends Nat20 Dicery have officially joined Ghostlight as our new dice partner. Nat20 Dicery is now crafting custom dice sets built specifically for Daggerheart, complete with 2 distinct D12s that embody the system's core tension between hope and fear, while maintaining harmony across the entire set. These are beautiful, balanced, and hand-poured with care by a small team who truly understands what makes dice feel special at the table. To celebrate this partnership and their new dice sets, you can get 10% off your order by using the code GHOSTLIGHT at checkout. That's GHOSTLIGHT, no space. Whether you're just stepping into the world of Daggerheart or you've already declared your god, there's no better way to roll than with a set made just for this system. Visit nat20dicery.com to explore their custom Daggerheart collection and support the stream while upgrading your roll. Okay, let's get back to the episode. All right, everybody, and we're back. Goldie is here. We just can't see him.
It's flying
Everyone's
around.
so quiet. You know, he's in the air doing his flying monkey thing. All right, so for this next section, so we've established some connections, which have been fantastic. Thank you all for all of this great world building that we're doing. It makes me so happy.
Super cool. I've really enjoyed it. Best, cool.
This has been fun. Productive, but also fun in a productive way. So what I wanted to touch base on now after the break, I want to talk a bit about Daggerheart as a game system. We have a wide varying degree of experience with it. If we have any questions about how it functions, how we use it, what actually happens during normal gameplay, one thing I can tell you is that there's the hope and fear economy is huge. You probably have seen it looking at your character sheets. When you roll an action roll, whichever of your D12s, you roll action rolls with 2 D12s. Let's start with that. They are distinctly colored. So if you are rolling with physical dice, which you are more than welcome to do, just make sure they're distinctly colored. If you're rolling on demi-plane, they color them for you and indicate it pretty clearly. We're going to do this straight up tabletop. I'm not going to audit your rolls. I'm just going to ask you what you rolled. And then you can just add your modifiers if you're doing it in, physically, or if you're doing a demi-plane. Just let me know what you rolled. If you roll with hope, you gain a hope. If you roll with fear, I gain a fear. And those are a different kind of economy that we use to do different things in it and out of combat. I'm going to have a fear counter. I haven't decided how yet. It's either going to be in this window or it's going to be a physical apparatus that hangs just below. If I can figure out how it's going to be, it's either going to be right here or it's going to be actually on the window. I'm aiming for a digital solution that is just going to appear across the window. But if I can get it to work, otherwise it'll be something physical. You'll see it in my window, no matter how we're playing. So for those of you who are in the chat and watching this on stream, we are streaming this through a different platform. Even on that platform, you'll be able to see my fear. That's the goal.
I have this little 3D printed guy that you can flip over the skulls.
Beautiful.
For counting the fear. And it sits on top of the DM screen.
Oh, really nice. I was looking through a couple different 3D printed solutions, and they all they seem really cool for the ones that clip right on the DM screen. And I was like, if I can move my computer over, maybe I can get it.
It would be cool if they could see our hopes too, but that would probably be very difficult to do.
Yeah. You could maybe clamp one onto your mic.
Yeah, we could have little stands that we just flip beside us, physical stands.
It would be cool to have lights that lit up. Nah, that's a little bit
Just an abacus. We'll get an abacus.
That's essentially what most of them are. So that's that economy. And I just want to let you know that you will be able to always see, it's actually going to be over here, I think, always see my fear no matter where I have it. I'm really bad at this whole thing. But what are some of the major questions you all have about the system?
Let me go back to my notes from our overview and let me see.
How much has everyone played?
None.
I played some. I played a one shot back when it was like in early alpha when it was they were doing the testing, and then a couple weeks ago I ran a one shot like introductory session for a few people. So like I DM'd it, so I have a decent understanding of the rules and have played it a bit.
How did you feel it translated from like other tabletop systems to Daggerheart? Do people seem to get it pretty well?
Yeah, it's with everybody that I've played with seemed to pick it up. One thing we noticed in the like previous when we were doing the early edition of it is it works better if everybody's on board with the system. If you're trying to play D&D, it may not work as well. But if everybody's like, you're trying to play Daggerheart, the whole like no initiative and stuff, and everybody works together on it instead of somebody trying to take up all the space. If everybody's on the same page, it works really well. But yeah, a lot of the stuff, like it's basic idea, instead of rolling the D20, you're rolling 2D12s. Once you understand like the whole minor damage and major damage and severe damage kind of thresholds, once you kind of get that down, it's super quick. First couple times it may be like, wait, how much actual hit points do I take? But once you've done it a couple times, like the people I played with or I ran it for, they were brand new people. And they had the damage thresholds and using armor down within the first, I was going to say round of combat, but there's no rounds. But they all had it down super quick. And one of them, she had played D&D once a long time ago. The other two have played a little bit of D&D. So, but they all picked it up super quick. So
last week I played in one shot and there was 3 players from the DM. We were all 3 pretty experienced players playing role-playing games. And so one thing I did worry about was how would that initiative go? But everybody was very graceful in being able to pass the spotlight to the next person. And it almost became a narrative where I'm setting this up for you and this is what I'm going to do. And it became, and I thought it was going to be more of an issue, but it was actually really, really, really smooth and it made narrative sense just to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And then when the spotlight switched to the GM, it was like they described how it switched. And it was very, if you're a good role player and you liked, if you like D&D, this will, in my opinion, it became super easy, right? Because there's not 500 skills you could use. There aren't, right? There's a limited amount of choices at this point.
Yeah, mechanically, it's a lot less cumbersome, I guess is the word I want to use.
Yeah, instead of having to go like, I have to use acrobatics, which is connected to this, and like trying to find all the 30 different skills and stuff like that. It's just you use your 6 main stats and add your experience on if it applies, and you have the hope to spend on it.
I hope you do.
Yeah, we were saying about the narrative combat kind of thing. Like we had points where I think it was a sorcerer. One of them was playing as a sorcerer. She got attacked, and then the guardian immediately was like, "I want to go," and then attack the thing that attacked her, and like they kind of turned into that like narrative combat. You went when you had reason to go.
Yeah, the big tagline is follow the fiction. So it's less about now there's a certain level of sharing that spotlight, moving that spotlight, being mindful of who hasn't had the spotlight, but also like when it makes sense for what's happening, and it's not just in combat either. It's all over. During exploration, during the overall story, is be mindful that you are telling a story and how you act sort of feeds into how that story is being told. Sage, did you have questions?
I do. So sorry. Okay, so I have a couple. First of all, can you remind me for basic like melee non-magic combat and for spell casting, like both of those, how do I like attack? Like, how does that process work?
How do you just attack?
Yeah, like, what am I rolling? What am I...
It's still the same as any action roll for your attack roll. So you're still rolling 2D. So like your action rolls are 2D12s.
Okay.
And you either succeed or fail with fear. Succeed with fear is still a success. It just plays into that economy. I might make what your success means in and out of combat may slightly differ from from it, you may gain. There'd be a narrative reason for what happens based on what you roll. Put it that way.
Okay.
Teller, were you gonna add something?
I was gonna say for magic attacks, you would just use whatever your magic feature is. Like mine, it's instinct. I believe the wizard, it would be knowledge.
Knowledge.
So you just roll your 2d12 and add your knowledge to it.
Okay.
And that's a key point that I think watching some videos, some people miss is that you're rolling 2d12s, right? And then you're taking whichever one is higher, it means whether it was hope or feel, but you are adding them together. So if you have a 2 and an 8, your 8 was your fear die. It's a 10 with fear plus whatever modifier is relevant. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
And then the other side is that crits are any matching numbers.
Are we going to implement the homebrew? I'm kidding.
The homebrew.
The one we were talking about earlier. I'm kidding.
TBD.
Okay.
We'll think of something. Chat doesn't know what we're talking about.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, it's all of the rolls they were doing before we started the stream.
Yeah, the one that kept rolling over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The fun number.
So
Nice.
A stored up cray.
let me ask this in terms of playing a spellcaster in Daggerheart. I mean, what are my benefits and drawbacks of attacking because the wheelbarrow, the primary weapon wheelchair that I use obviously is a melee combatant, and my secondary is a grappler, to bring people closer to me because I based my spellcasting around either melee, close, or medium range for the most part. So how do those so let me you have one action per turn, correct?
Kind of the idea is anytime you roll is a chance for the GM to take over. Because if you roll with fear or you fail, the GM can take a turn.
Right.
So you can technically do multiple things in a row, but that would be you taking multiple turns in the row. And every time you roll, it's a chance for the spotlight to go to the adversaries.
And there needs to be a narrative reason to do it because you don't want to hog that spotlight. You want to make sure that you're being mindful of your fellow players. Right.
Or you can say hey, can I set up a combo to two turns kind of thing? Yeah. Set up a combo. That'll be really cool. Then I'm pretty sure most of the time we'll be yeah, go ahead.
Well, how do the combos work actually?
Do you mean the tag rolls?
Yeah. With okay, say Sage wanted to attack a rusher, something like that with her chair, but she's like, push me just to get that extra, just to get an extra oomph on there. Now,
it's the tag team mechanic, right? And you can use that once per session.
Wait.
Yeah, once per session. Each player can use it once per session. You can initiate a tag team roll. That's 3 hope, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you
both roll.
Yep. You both roll and you
pick which one you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you both
do the damage.
There you go.
Okay.
I got confused with that with help where it's just okay, you can use another die.
There's also there's aid an ally or help an ally. You can spend 1 hope to give an ally advantage. So let's say Sage wanted help. I don't know. They were going up a hill and they couldn't get up. I don't know. Whatever it is. If they asked you for a push.
No, the magic isn't enough.
The magic, I know. Sage's character, we established that they can move it with their mind. I know. But for the sake of this conversation, if it was an action roll they were going to take, you could say, hey, I want to help an ally for one hope. You spend that hope and you give them advantage. So they add 1d6.
Okay. 1 second.
Sage, when you're done typing that, let me know. I wanted to ask you if you've seen something.
Yes, I'm done. Have seen what?
Have you seen where you can export your character to PDF? Because they have this really cool thing. whenever you print it out or if you just do it for a PDF that has like kind of what the action rolls are and stuff like that.
Oh,
Quick reference thing.
I put some player handouts in the Daggerheart channel on Discord as well. There's GM ones.
You put out a cheat sheet, didn't you?
Yeah. It helps explain things pretty.
I forgot about that.
Quick reference guide.
And I forget the someone on Reddit. Oh, Daddy Longhairs was the original post on Reddit. Give credit where credit's due. But they spell it out. Both are really great guides. I exported it to my notes on my iPad so I could sort of scribble over it.
Oh! I did download those.
Oh, you have it?
The play guide. Okay, I see.
There you go.
Got it. Perfect. Let me upload that to my Drive folder because I have so much. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Can you use domain cards more than once? So, for example, I have a domain card called the Book of Iliad, which has an ability called Arcane Barrage, and this says specifically once per rest, blah, blah, blah. But most of them don't. Is it like once I use this card, I have to put it down, or is it just like this is my repertoire, like a spell book?
Yeah. So it's all about the economy, right? It's not like you have a spell slot, you burn this card.
Right.
As long as you have whatever that card is telling you need to have to do it.
Yeah, some will use a stress, some will use hope. As long as you have those to spend, you can use it as much as you want.
And honestly, like
once per.
I don't know if this is a homebrew rule or it's just generally how it is. Once you're out of stress and you take another stress, you lose a hit point. Right. I'm okay with you overstressing yourself to cast spells.
Okay. One second.
Whether it's a good idea, that's a different story. But if that's what you want to do, have at it.
I think in the rulebook it says something about being full on stress makes you more vulnerable to attacks. I can't remember what the exact mechanic was.
You're vulnerable if your stress is full, which vulnerable means your attacks are at disadvantage and attacks against you are advantage.
Got it. Okay. I think the only other question I have is about the rests. Can you explain those to me again?
So during a rest, you can do 2 downtime moves. So during a rest, you can tend wounds, you can clear stress, you can repair your armor, you can prepare, or you can work on a project during a long rest only.
I think wasn't prepare just gaining hope?
Yeah. If another player also prepares, you gain 2 hope.
Yeah, you can team up on that. Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah, on rest, everything doesn't just fill up. You have to choose 2 of the options to work on.
Is it 2 on long rest and is it 1 on short rest?
Nope, it's 2 for both, but long rest fully repeals.
Oh, that's right.
Fully repairs, whereas short rest only you roll to see how much you heal or repair.
That's right. Yep. So on a long rest, if you're repairing armor, you would repair all your armor slots. If it were a short rest, you would only repair 1d4 plus your tier. And the same is true for health. That's right.
Okay.
One kind of homebrew addition I am going to add. It's going to depend on where you're ending your session, where you're doing your long rest. If it is in a danger area, we're going to totally do Age of Umber rules and make you somebody hold watch.
Danger. That's somebody watch. Yeah.
And if you hold watch, that would be one of your downtime. But again, it's all about where you choose to do it. If you're out and about in a dangerous area, if someone has to pull guard, you roll during that, and the outcome of that roll dictates what happened. Is everyone familiar with the death moves? Not saying you're going to need them.
Yep.
All right. So if you find yourself all the way down to having no health, no hit points, you can make one of 3 choices. You can choose to, which order do I read these in? You can choose to go out in a blaze of glory, which is critically succeed on one final action, and then your character dies. You can avoid death. You fall unconscious and the situation worsens, but you can't be attacked. when you return to consciousness, or you return to consciousness when you gain a hit point or after a long rest. When you drop, you roll your hope die. If it's equal or less than your level, you cross out one of your hope slots and you gain a narrative scar. And there will be a narrative scar. So if you choose to fall unconscious, you roll. If it's lower than your level, which it can't be your opening level, so you lose a hit point permanently and you cross it out.
Okay.
Oh, a hope point or a hit point?
One of your hope slots. I thought it was your hit point. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was hope.
My mistake. It is hope point. That's less fun than what I was thinking, but still, we'll make it work narratively.
Stating.
You can make it at points.
I mean,
I mean,
could.
hope is all your cool attacks and abilities and stuff. So it
Yeah,
just makes
that
it
would
hard
be
to
fun for
do
people.
fun stuff.
perfect sense, because if you literally got that close to death and then like you came back from it, you're going to be emotionally scarred. You're going to have less hope in general.
You might actually have less hit points too, but I digress.
Maybe it's
Rules is written on this one. We'll keep the last one is risk it all. You roll your duality dice. If you roll with hope, if the hope die is higher, you distribute its value to clear hit points or stress. If the fear die is higher, you die. If they're the same, if you roll a critical roll, you clear all hit points and stress. So if you roll your die and you roll a 10 and 2 with hope, you can take that 10 and clear as many hit points and as many stress points as you can with that 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you said if hope and fear are the same with risk it all,
It's a crit.
It's a crit. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
a critical roll in this game system is any matching.
Yeah, the
Fair.
hope and fear
Yeah.
matching. Right.
So if you have a
Sage
crit
talked
during a
about
death roll,
the death roll.
yeah, if you have a crit
Oh.
during the death roll,
Oh,
you clear
You're
all
full.
stress.
then you're
You
amazing.
jump up with vigor.
You win the game.
You do.
Okay.
And your character goes on the cover of the next reprint.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. That-
Just
All
talking a little bit about mechanics. So you have an evasion score. That's what people are rolling against to hit you. All right. If it equals or above, they hit. The damage they do falls into your thresholds. Everyone sees their thresholds bar on their thing. What threshold they hit into dictates how many hit points you take. You can lessen. If you mark off an armor slot, you can reduce the damage to the next threshold down. So if you hit for major damage, you can choose to use an armor slot and reduce it to minor damage. So it's 1 minor, 2 major, 3 severe, 4 as a double severe. Well, you don't need to head this all down now. We're just sort of talking about some interesting mechanics. We'll definitely.
My armor is extraordinarily low. I'm assuming that's normal. Like everyone's going to hit me.
I mean, normal for
Your armor is not the same as your evasion.
I'm
Yeah.
super confused.
what's your evasion?
Oh, okay. What is the armor again then? The armor.
You can-
Okay. If they
so you
choose
can-
what they have to do to hit me.
Yeah, evasion is what they need to roll against. Your armor is an economy that you can use to reduce damage.
Got it. And I reduce it to the next level down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So once they do an attack roll, and that says, "Hey, I hit you or I didn't." Let's say they did. Then they do a damage roll, and then that damage roll is against your thresholds. So what's your first threshold?
7.
All right. So let's say they rolled an 8. That takes it from minor to major. You could choose, if you wanted to use an armor slot to reduce it back down to minor. Now, some damage, for example, poison, is direct damage. You can't use armor to reduce.
Okay.
As we do this, as we're playing, we will totally go back over all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Like,
doesn't
don't-
cause stress to use the armor slots or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. It seems like it would in my mind. Like I'd be a little stressful, like, oh, that hurt, So I just wanted to make sure.
There
We
are
can make that a homebrew rule.
abilities.
No.
Yeah. There are abilities that say mark a stress and you can reduce the damage by spending one armor an additional time. So if you got hit with major and you had this feature and you can mark a stress, then you would take no damage. So
And you may like
do that.
while you're out in the world doing whatever you're doing, if you are trying to accomplish something through an action roll and you maybe succeed with fear, you may have a consequence that requires you to take a stress because whatever you did was stressful for you. So you may acquire stress randomly throughout the course of gameplay. We will address leveling up when we get there. I do anticipate leveling up relatively quickly. It's only 8 sessions, so we'll find some balance once you all feel, I mean, you probably will never really feel super like comfortable with your characters like at that rate, but like once you've had a chance to sort of try it out at a certain level, we'll move to the next. Oh, here's a fun thing that's quite a bit different. Ranges and movement. So adversaries and players can move within close range when they get the spotlight. Close range is about 10 to 30 feet. 6 squares or 5 to 6 inches. We're not going to do the whole pencil analogy because we're not using a physical environment. However, I'll show you what we're using in a minute here. There will be squares you can count. So, and I'll constantly remind you what everything is. So melee is just a few feet close enough. How we recognize or what we recognize in D&D what melee is. Very close is 5 to 10 feet. Close is 10 to 30 feet. Far is 30 to 100 feet. Very far is 100 to 300 feet, and out of range is beyond that. All right. You can move in combat. You can move to outside of close range. You just need to make a roll to do it. Anyone else? Oh, we haven't talked about experiences yet. So you all have made experiences. The experiences are good for adding modifiers to a roll if it makes sense. If you have been watching Age of Umbra on Critical Role, I mean, if you're watching it now, you're not watching this, so I guess that doesn't matter. Thank you all for watching this over that. However, if you've been watching that, Matt is really big about you need to call out your experience in advance. Because of where we are with learning it, I am not going to be a huge stickler about it. I would like you to, don't get me wrong, but we're all learning the system. So there will be some leeway with that. Is that okay with everyone?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you mean by in advance.
Okay. Who has a good experience they've developed for the
Nature's Friend.
Nature's Friend. And how might that experience be applied?
Anytime that we're trying to traverse some sort of difficult thing with plants or something.
Sure. Okay, great. So let's say that you are, actively trying to maneuver through a thick brush. For example, maybe I might ask you to make an agility roll and you can say, hey, well, I want to apply Nature's Friend.
Nature's Friend, yeah.
And if you can, the deal with the experiences is you're writing them. If you can narratively justify using it, then you can use it. All right. Before the roll. We will encounter times where you're like, I'm going to do this and you succeed in your roll or you fail your roll. But then you're going to be like, oh, wait, my experience.
Yeah.
Watching other games, that happens a lot. I listen to a lot of these on podcasts while I'm mowing the lawn. I'm always like, man, see, I would let my players do that. So if it's within reason, within a certain, if it's relatively close to the roll, if we've moved on from it, then we'll probably won't let you backtrack to it. But if it's relatively, it's oh no moment, then that's fine with me.
The experiences part was really hard for me. I looked at all the examples and I saw Nature's Friend and I was like, well, that's Echo. Literally,
there you go.
Yeah.
Friends is nature. So, I mean, it's perfect,
One thing that we haven't talked about, which is fun, group action rolls, I think are just outstanding. And I wish we were doing it in D&D. I really wanted to this past session with Fargrim. Actually, I was like, oh, this would be a great place to do it. So your group may be trying to accomplish something, and I may call for a group roll. You would then pick the person who's best suited to lead that action. So let's say someone was more stronger than somebody else, has higher modifier for strength. You would all roll against the DC. Everyone who rolled with your own modifier, everyone who rolled and succeeded would get +1. The overall group would have +1. And then everyone who failed, they would get -1. And then the person who leads the group roll uses that as a modifier. So if everyone tanks it, they have to roll with their modifier and now this new group modifier. So if they had like a +2 to strength and you all just gave them -5.
Their roll that they do, they don't get a modifier from their roll. Right?
They can use their modifier. That's why you've chosen them to lead.
I meant like the +1. Like their roll is not counted towards the additional modifier that they use.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
their roll is the one that is the successor fail. We talked about, so you can spend hope to help an ally that we discussed, like pushing the wheelbarrow. Utilizing experience. It says before you make a trait roll, but there's some leeway. Initiate a tag team roll that you spend 3 hope and you team up, or you can activate a feature. And then conditions that we have, there aren't anywhere near as many as some of the other systems. We have vulnerable, restrained, hidden, and then what they call temporary conditions, which is sort of things that may be more specific that as the GM, I can spend a fear to clear a condition. But mostly it's just 3. Vulnerable, restrained, hidden.
I was going to say restrained is you can't move until you've cleared the condition. Yep. You can still do actions and stuff, though. Vulnerable is the, disadvantage when you're doing something, and advantage against you when something's being done to you, until you clear it. And then hidden,
I saw something recently today on Reddit that the hidden feature is just when you're out of sight of a foe. It's not specifically like a rogue is hiding. Anybody who is out of sight of a foe can have the hidden condition with regards to that foe. It's different from cloaked. All right. So anybody have any other questions or want to discuss any other part of Daggerheart?
We had talked about it briefly in the chat, but the domains, talking about whether or not we're going to double up on them or try to do different ones just to get a variety of domains or of cards, because I know I share my domains with one with Echo and one with Helm. Yeah, if we wanted to kind of plan out which domain cards we've taken so we're not doubling up, that way, we can all see different cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you're not worried about sharing a domain with somebody, but you want to make sure you have a good variation of cards. Has everyone chosen their cards yet?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Know how?
No.
I was just looking at that. I was like, I don't think I've done that. And then I was like, I don't know how to do that. And I was just looking around and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
I made for preliminary choices, but I was waiting to see what people took in this.
Yeah, because I'm looking right now and I don't even see where I would select that. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't even. That's that same thing with experience. So
in the demi plane, when you're in the editing your character section, or where is that again? Character builder.
Okay.
Where was it?
Experiences is just right there, and it has it there.
Click on level up, I believe.
There.
Is it not
it's
there?
Under level
No, that's for level 2.
Under class, the very bottom one is take domain cards. In that one, it gives you a list of the domain cards you can select from. There's 3 from each domain.
I did select my 2. Okay. I don't think I see it on my character sheet anywhere.
Well, you have to select the actual domain, and then you can go through each individual card and select which of those cards you want to take.
Yeah, I did select. I forgot about how I selected it, but I did select 2, but I don't see it on my character sheet when I go to my character.
It should be under your effects and features. There's domain effects and features.
Yeah,
let me go check that.
Toward the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Go away, stuff out.
Oh, I have my domain effects selected.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good. I do have my 2 domain effects. Do you want to know what they are? Are we sharing domain?
Are you using any from the Arcana domain?
Nope.
I don't know if it says on those. No? Yours are from the... Oh, what was your other one?
Sage.
Sage? Okay.
Yeah, mine are from Sage.
So mine...
chose.
Okay, mine are both from Arcana, so I'm not using any of the Midnight or whatever it is, or Night. So,
Cool.
Helm, you're fine for any of those.
Is anyone else a Sage other than you? Oh, no, you're not.
I'm a sage.
Yes, you are.
Yours are Splendor, and I can't remember what the book is called, Codex.
Yeah.
They say in the character builder section, but not on the actual character page.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, right?
They should show it somewhere.
It's at the center at the top
For what?
on the character page.
Oh, yeah. Under the flags?
Yeah, it looks like a little, what would you call those? A banner?
Yeah, banner.
Or if you click on the name of it, it brings it up on the other side and it'll show you. On the right side, it'll show you.
I currently picked both of mine from Valor, which overlaps with Throg. I have Bare Bones and I Am Your Shield at the moment.
Yeah, I have I Am Your Shield and... what's the other one I have?
You know, some of them it's not too bad to have two of, right? Like,
Yeah, no. I mean,
I Am Your Shield, yeah. I have I Am Your Shield and Not Good Enough.
Someone else could be Sage's.
Is the intention... that's something I haven't encountered, though. The intention that people don't have double, like you're all working off the same deck, or is it okay to have more?
It's kind of intended. That's why they only give you one copy of each card in the set. Is they don't want you doubling up. It even says, I think, in the book that you can, but it's recommended you don't, just so you have a variety of abilities.
That question came up earlier, and I couldn't find it, but it's a lot to get through.
I will only ever pull from the Sage one because it's the only one that makes sense for my character. The other one just doesn't. Yeah, even if there's a spell that I love for Arcana, no, I'm not going to pick it because it just doesn't. It just doesn't.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll switch mine out
Unless
for
I feel like it
Forceful
should
Push.
be under Sage. It's not what I meant, Sage.
Okay, so I now have Bare Bones and Forceful Push, so they're not overlapping now.
I am so excited.
It's going to be so much fun. The session 1 I have planned out, super stoked. I can't do session 2 until you guys finish session 1, but man, I'm excited.
Okay. Well, session 1 is probably going to be 2 parts, so like.
I mean, session 1 is going to be session 1. However long it just get there. You all are in charge of. So a couple of things for the planning of it all. I don't plan to take a whole lot of time with travel. You all, however, are going to be in charge of where you're traveling to. That will make more sense after session 1. And if it takes longer to do something than we anticipate, then that's fine. I mean, I said 8 sessions. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. However, you all have been in, most of you have played in a one shot with me. How often does that? It has never happened.
One shot?
I mean, I thought I was being generous saying, hey, like 8 shots. Right?
What's your longest one shot?
It's still going on.
How many have you done it so far?
3 is the answer.
Oh,
3 is 3 is the longest since completing. However, Ashes of Tomorrow was never finished. However, this finishes Ashes of Tomorrow.
Ooh.
Sage and Goldie, I think, are the only 2, or is that right? Yeah. You will find out how it ends.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Which brings me
to worry.
which brings me to my next question.
Okay.
Bringing a close to the idea of the session, expectations, lines and vials, X cards. We did all this. One thing I wanted to ask you all about is how difficult would you like the combat to be? Take in mind for the purposes of this mini series, like there won't be any additional characters. So if you die, you're dead.
then you get to watch us, like watch the stream for the rest of the time and be like, hi guys.
Go team, go. You could still hop in. I mean, you're more than welcome to be like, I'd like to help an ally. And I'd be like, no. Not from beyond the grave.
Can I just like wear X's over my eyes and just sit here?
Valorant could let you borrow the mask.
That is a good question. How difficult do we want to make it? Before you said that, I had an answer. But now that you've said that, I don't know what my answer is.
So the first off, for the tone to draw from, this is what I drew for writing this. The top answers were heroic, tragic, high fantasy. Only one person selected difficult combat. And another person wrote an additional tragic. So I guess tragic is probably the highest.
Let's go. This is my type of thing, y'all.
Emotional drama, high fantasy, heroic, tragic were
for difficulty level. Like because it's like new for everybody pretty much, starting off a little easier, but then maybe ramping up as we go.
Yeah, I say that we play maybe a session or two and figure out the combat system and maybe level up once or something like that before we really decide. Definitely easy at first because we don't know what we're doing.
I mean, it being easy doesn't mean you won't die because of it being a new system. So, having a new system could ramp up the difficulty class, but I'll keep it. I'll try to keep it light, but still have some stakes. So,
I mean, it would be.
Belt says your character died. You're an illusionary ghost that the other players can see and hear. Just walking alongside.
I say one thing that was good with the damage thresholds is there's no accidental one shots. So it's not like oops, this really big hit just killed you right off the bat. The max it can do is
really hard to die at level 1.
Okay.
Unless you choose to and go down to Blaze of Glory.
Yeah.
After the first couple of sessions where it's easy-ish, so we can kind of get used to combat in general. After that, by the end, there should be challenge, right? Obviously, it needs to feel challenging. It can't be heroic if, little, if it could have just been a party full of children that threw around rocks.
So what I'm hearing is that you need me to make it tragic in the beginning without it being difficult combat.
At the beginning.
I got you.
Yes. I would be okay if my character ended up dying halfway through, I'm cool with that. If that's something if it was that difficult, the challenge was there and not obviously people can die from, doing things that aren't necessarily the best choices. But if you do everything kind of to the best of your character and you still die and everyone did a good job, that's a challenge. That's something it's different than someone just being like, oh, well, I'm this wizard and I'm going to go be their shield. No, you don't need to do that. You don't should do that.
You are not their shield.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically I would be okay with me dying halfway through as long as I, out of it being difficult enough to do that.
Maybe revisit the question after a couple sessions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought you said something about the grief sets in after a couple of sessions. I was like,
no.
Probably.
That does too, though.
Grief never goes away.
I'm expecting it to set in. And
like a scar that takes away one of my hit points.
And hope points.
Session 3, we're all edge lords.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's in the corner of a tavern, hoods up.
It doesn't matter what our color scheme was before in session 2. It is now.
It's all black.
All right, so
I'm ahead of the game.
just to sort of kind of close it out, we're coming to the end of this. I need to check my agenda to see what I missed, but I want to talk a little bit about how we're gonna do combat. It's different than anything I've done before, and hopefully it's something that is enjoyable for you all and not cumbersome. So my idea with this whole thing, any of you who have played with me before know that I usually do it on Foundry, and we get all into the little bells and whistles of Foundry and yada, yada, yada. In our last session, we I think I gave players a little bit too much control, and we had a Leroy Jenkins moment, and it sort of got us into a spot that was hard. That said, based on the way that this game system works and the way that I kind of want to try doing things in the near future, I'm trying to take a more tabletop approach. So you won't have a character that you can control. You're going to be theater of the mind. Anything that we use is going to be purely for your reference within the environment. So I thought this might be a fun little thing to do. Let's fade over there. Are you watching the stream?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know.
Okay, so we are going to use Tailspire for our virtual minis. We will not be using Tailspire to its full capabilities. However, for points of reference, we're going to have minis in Tailspire. You will be able to say, I want them to move close range to this person. I will move them for you. And then you will make your roll. Tell me what it is. You will utilize your sheet. You will mark things off your sheet specifically. So we won't have that like VTT feel. Hopefully we have more of a tabletop feel. I hope you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, no, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Of course not. What are you doing?
I already made your minis.
I want the
Cool.
Where's my dad?
Do I get to see them?
That looks nothing like.
Change it. I can totally change it.
Oh my gosh.
Can I get closer?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. I'm blind. Oh my gosh.
My mini is way too
That's so
handsome.
cool.
I can scuff them up a little bit if you prefer. The ones that were the most challenging were the scarecrow and the mushroom person.
Sorry.
They don't have either of those two things. Your scarecrow has lightning coming out of his hands. I hope that's okay. I thought that looked kind of cool.
Yes.
That's Scarecrow's house.
My
cool.
person
No,
is probably
Go on.
shorter.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Uh,
true. I think
I can only get it so short, but I'll see if I can do a little better.
I think Phoenix is like around my height. We were talking about it. I think Echo, he's a little bit taller than me.
All right. I'll
That
get
is so cool,
Echo
though.
as low
That
as
does
possible.
get-
Actually, you know what? I don't even think I need to do anything. Gosh, there's a
Oh, lovely. Oh, not that small.
That's better.
That's adorable.
it's not working. So the idea is that we'll just have another thing and you'll just be like, hey, I want to move within whatever. So we'll be able to see the tiles and the distances and we can sort of zoom in and we won't have to worry about everyone logging into a thing and learning something else. It's just going to be points of reference. Use your sheets, mark off your sheets as you would. And this is just meant to be like a fun little
just like
point
a
of reference.
visual.
So that's how I want to do it. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So to wrap it up, we did combat virtual minis, feedback, questions. Ooh, schedule. We can do that before we finish. We obviously won't do anything around the holidays.
Yeah. I should be fine.
Or we just do like silly one shots for the holidays.
We could do that.
Christmas one.
Everyone feels ready for session one? Oh, we got some time, but everyone feels
Yes.
otherwise ready for session one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm super excited. I'm going to definitely have hype videos and stuff, but you all have the general gist of the story. I've been kind of not sending it out just so that we could sort of talk about it and reveal it more during this. Also, it's a lot of work, but here we are. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you for coming on this journey with us all. So excited to see what kind of stories we tell. I'm already super excited about all this stuff.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's
Me
fantastic
too.
work, everyone. Any alibis? Anyone have anything they want to say before we send out?
It wasn't my fault.
Didn't do it.
Well, if
No,
not
I mean-
you, then who?
It's Thursday, y'all. Friday's almost here. Go enjoy your weekend. Do something nice to yourself.
I'm not pointing at anybody on the stream. you, the whole night you had me lined up that I was pointing at Hal. And now when I do it, it's over there.
Thank you all. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out for Daggerheart stuff. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things if you're over there on YouTube. Follow if you're over here on Twitch. If you're over there on TikTok, welcome. This is the first stream. Do the thing. Do the TikTok thing, whatever that is. I don't know. Follow all of my friends here.
Send it to
Go to
friends and don't say a word.
don't say a word. Anapasto salad is the invite. Go to World Anvil, use the link, go to Ghostlight XC, get some merch. And as always, dear travelers, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye now.
Oh, aren't we
Takes
doing
me a
the
second to push the button.
fingers?
Different fingers.
I have to
Yeah, all right.
It's going to say starting soon, but it's not really.
We're still here.
that heart thing.
I know, I'm just like waving. Hand things.
Still here.
Oh no, I was muted during all of that.
No!
I'm just joking. I'm totally kidding.
Oh, ghost.